Martin Luther King championed the civil rights movement. This is the Right to Be Civil movement.
Y'all want to know who you voted for? So they can let you in or show you the door. She votes left and he votes right. It's a hell of a recipe for a holiday fight.
From our recording studio in Castleberry, Florida, and our production house in Coral Springs, you're listening to the Purple Evolution Podcast.
I don't know any left people. I don't know any right people. We're all different shades of humanity. I don't know any red people. I don't know any blue people. We're all different shades of humanity.
My name is Doug Halper, and with your permission, I will be your guide on a journey through all things purple regarding the coexistence of human beings on this wonderful planet we call home. The creator of the Purple Evolution, my friend and our host, is Armand Volpe, who for over 40 years has been dedicated to being a stand for love. Along with his bride Angelina, Armand has stood true to this commitment through the mediums of public speaking, performing songwriter, TV and radio appearances, magazine and book publishing, personal counseling, and now the world of podcasting. Please help me welcome my favorite civil servant, or more aptly put, servant for civility, Armand.
Here we go again. All right, so today's going to be different. Doug and I have been talking about this for a while, just because it's of personal interest to us, and we've seen some of them, and we're just going to share something kind of different and fun, and you're going to have something that you normally don't have if you're doing the YouTube, a lot more videos and visuals than you normally get. And yeah, I'm really excited about this, and there's something extra cool going on today, and that is I'm going to be seeing a lot of this for the first time. So you're going to get a very candid response from me, and hopefully it won't be too ADHD, and I'll stay focused. So yeah, and I won't offend anybody and say something too outrageous.
Well, that's okay. There's actually going to be some swear words because some of it is naturally included in what we're going to be seeing. So be advised, there is explicit content in this podcast. So that being said, Armand, Angelina, and I were driving to Nashville, Tennessee, which we've talked about on a number of different episodes, to our dear friend Lisa Firestone's place. And along the way, we saw a billboard that blew us all away. And I'm going to show you that picture in a moment. But it got us thinking about all of the signs out there, billboards, etc., that are outrageous. Just kind of makes you remember the old Arsenio Hall thing, things that make you go, Well, this is things that make you go, what the hell? So, we went ahead and asked our viewers to, send in, billboards and signs on the road that were either purple or non-purple, or just kind of outrageous. And, the signs that we have that we got are just amazing. And so we're going to show them to you today, and we're going to start by letting Armand give his first reaction to it, and then we'll talk a little bit about each one. If you are listening to this and you are not watching it on YouTube, then recommend, number one, if you can watch it on YouTube, watch it on YouTube. If you can't, you can go to our website and go to the podcast page. And on this day's podcast, all the pictures are there. So you can at least pull up the picture and look at it while you're listening. If not, we'll at least describe it to you so you can use your pretty little imagination to get the idea. So, okay. This is exciting. Anything that you want to share, Armand, before we get started?
Just that everybody's got their own opinion about whether these things are true or not, as we have seen by posting some of them on our Purple Evolution group page. And so, no right or wrong, just observation is what we'll be doing, which is kind of what the NVC lady was talking about that day, Dean, is that when we stay in observation versus judgment, it's a little clearer, and we don't put anybody down. But we'll have a tone of putting people down when we're talking about how it's landing on us.
Well, here we go then. In that case, let me hit share and let me hit start. Let's see if this works. All right, so here we go. And the first one that we saw while we were traveling to Nashville was this one. And it says, every tongue will confess Jesus is Lord, even the Democrats.
Yeah, that was a jaw dropper.
So, yeah, talk to us about it.
Well, the first thing, I've seen a lot of Christian billboards that I thought were self-righteous propaganda. I also have seen a lot of Christian billboards that were just wonderful billboards inviting people to try something like sad, lonely, tired, give Jesus a chance or something like that. And I always felt good when I saw that, even though I don't have that same kind of relationship with Jesus that most Christians do. But when I have seen a few other ones that sounded like they were basically a members only club, and if you didn't think exactly the way they do, you will be damned to hell forever. Those didn't turn me on as much. But this one, I was like, whoa, just mixing religion and politics, or as many people say, church and state, to a very dramatic, polarizing us and them. Wow. It just, I don't know. It exemplified exactly what I believe we are trying to move away from in this Purple podcast.
Right. It's funny when I, boy, how do I say this without offending people? When I saw this sign, I thought, okay, so does that mean that if I go to your church and I'm a Democrat, you think I'm stupid? Or, do you think that I'm less than you are because I'm a Democrat? And, so first of all, it's very alienating, obviously. And then I thought, but does that mean that you only want Republicans in your church? I mean, it was very, very interesting to me that somebody would actually want to declare this. Of course, they didn't put the name of their church on it, but they probably would. So anyway, we're going to call this non-purple. How about that?
I would say pretty non-purple. And let me just share something else that just came to me.
Okay.
To me, this would be similar to saying, every tongue will confess that marriage is only between a man and a woman, even the queers. That's how I sort of interpret this with a different spin on it.
Okay. Alienating 101. They did it. They got it down. Got it down pretty good. All right. Here we go. Next one.
Yep.
Okay. First impressions, and then I'll tell you a little bit about it.
Well, my first impression is, although I can understand where some of that's coming from, definitely does not create civil dialogue. Woo!
All right, so I didn't explain what we're looking at. It's a huge red sign with the gold letters GOP. But the O is the sickle symbol of the old USSR. And there is a small picture. It's actually a mugshot of one of Florida's House of Representatives, Matt Gaetz. I don't know how to say his last name, but I'm going to say Gaetz, Gaetz. And it's his mugshot of when he got a DUI about 5 years ago. And it's alluding to the fact that, well, it's basically trying to get him to step down from being in the House of Representatives. And I guess the mugshot is just kind of a stab at him. But really, the GOP with the sickle in the middle is saying, because he was mightily defending our past president, when our past president said that there was no collusion with Russia in the 2016 election. So anyway, he stood up for Donald Trump a lot, and there were a lot of Republicans that didn't even like the way that he was doing it. So this sign was basically saying resign, and there are signs out there that ask him that say directly resign, but this one, that's what it was all alluding to. So now that you know the background, Armand, does that change anything for you?
No, it doesn't. It feels like unfair. It feels like I don't know. It just doesn't feel good when I look at that. It doesn't feel purple to me, and I wouldn't like it if it were done with Nancy Pelosi on the blue side of the field, and I don't like it when it's done with Matt Gaetz or Getz. I will say something real quick about the other billboard, Doug, that I forgot to say. When I posted that on my page with my giant wow, yes, thank you, perfect.
That was our studio producer that did that.
Oh yeah, he's brilliant. He's brilliant.
He is brilliant. What's his name?
Douglas Halper. Yeah.
We're going to call him something else because he's going to need a different persona. So that's our question for the day. If you have a question for our what's our studio producer's name? Anyway, go on, Armand.
Yeah. Well, when I posted that on the Facebook page, there was not one single person from any side of the aisle that defended it. And that felt good because I'm always looking for anything that we can kind of get on the same page with. And a lot of my Christian and Republican friends were like, wow, that does not represent us, yeah.
Have you ever played the game where you ask a question in your mind, you close your eyes and you ask the question and you just get centered, and then you open up your eyes and you take the nearest literature and you open up maybe a book or whatever and you put your finger on it and you read that sentence and that's your answer? It's very much like Christian prayer. It works the same way. You're just giving energy out into the universe, or any prayer for that matter. Well, I think we just did it because I said, what's our studio producer's name? And I changed the picture and it's Jesus. So,
Jesus, I like that.
There you go. Okay. Great. Going back to this one, let's move on to number 3 here. Okay. This is a huge red sign with white letters that says, "Tired of freedom and prosperity? Vote Joe Biden 2020."
Ooh. So I don't get a huge, that this is a below the belt, kind of thing the way I did with the other ones. However, it does come off as hyperbole, and I believe these kinds of comments really rile up one side of the field and could instigate incitements and insurrections, because it's basically telling people, I mean, you really can't tell somebody, if this person gets elected, you will lose your freedom and prosperity and expect them to be okay with that. In my opinion, that's my thought on the whole deal. It's kind of like if I saw the same kind of thing, tired of equality, tired of nobody getting a leg up, tired of you could say the same thing, freedom, vote Donald Trump. It would the same kind of thing to rile up the base to believe that you have two options. America's gone or your candidate wins. That I just don't think that's good for America at all.
Yeah. Long gone are the days when there were people who wanted to campaign just with what they were standing for, not trying to cut down their opponents and what they're standing against. I think those days are long gone, and that's just the way it is right now. And maybe that's because of the two-party system. There's probably a lot of reasons for it, but yeah, I don't feel as bad about this one as I did the first one. But I agree with you. It's not moving the conversation forward in a good direction. But these days, it's actually, unfortunately, it's par for the course, and it's not that bad for these days. So
it is par for the course, and my optimism dreams that when people see enough ugly, they crave pretty. They crave beauty, and we have certainly seen some ugly.
We're going to see some more ugly, so that's why I'm laughing. Okay, let's see here. Oh gosh. Okay, now this one, Now I'm not. I can't pretend that I'm a Donald Trump fan because I'm not, and I'm not going to try to pretend that I am. It's got a big picture of Donald Trump saying something emphatic, and in the right-hand corner it says, "Make the gospel great again," and then it has an American flag. And then on the bottom in big letters it says, "The Word became flesh." John 1:14.
God help us. There's also a cross behind the flag. And so that, this has Zippo to do to me with Donald Trump. I wouldn't want any politician's face there. If this were a Christian billboard and it did not have a politician and it had Jesus there, the Word became flesh, a quote from his words in John, and make the gospel great again, I would be like, I don't resonate, but there's nothing that doesn't feel unfair to me. That doesn't feel propaganda to me. That feels like advertisement. We're advertising what we believe is a great man, a great religion. But to put them together like that, we could spend all day going into why this is an oxymoron, but that's not near as important. It wouldn't matter what politician was there. It would be, I don't even have a word for it except for holy crap. Actually, that's pretty good. Holy crap.
Oh, I like it. I see what you did there. But
that was a God wink.
Yeah. So to me, this is just blatantly saying that Donald Trump is Jesus Christ. That's what it's saying to me. Donald Trump is the Word that became flesh. And I mean, otherwise, why put his face and an American flag on the same billboard as a Bible quote and a cross?
Absolutely.
And then combine it again by taking his "Make America Great Again" into "Make the Gospel Great Again." It's basically saying Donald Trump is the savior. And I do know that a lot of people feel that way. I know there are a lot of Christians out there that will defend it and say, no, we don't feel that way. And good. I'm proud of you for not being crazy. Oh, hey, wow. There's an unpurple statement. Told you we'd make mistakes in episode 1. But yeah, that's basically saying Donald Trump is Jesus Christ, and woo.
And I will tell you this, Doug. I mean, I'm not 100, so I haven't seen as many elections as somebody that is, but I've never seen any kind of savior attachment to any political person in my lifetime that is even in the ballpark of what has happened with Donald Trump. And so hopefully we won't see much more of that on either side of the field for the rest of my lifetime.
All right, moving on. Oh, these are great. These are great. I put these two together because they were so similar. They're both church signs, and one of them is says Valley Baptist Tabernacle. The other one just says Baptist Church. The first one says vote. And remember, true Christians don't vote liberal. And then the other one says real Christians vote no on alcohol. So, Armand, take it away.
Okay, well, to me, they're both very different.
Really?
Yeah. Well, to me, on first, again, I'm shooting from the hip here. When I see real Christians vote no on alcohol, again, I don't resonate with that. However, if they're promoting total sobriety, teetotaler, as part of their church, and they believe that Jesus, who turned water into wine, from what I understand, I guess he was just backsliding that day.
It was Boone's Farm.
It was Boone's Farm. It's not exactly wine, is it? I think
there wasn't, the parchment wasn't that big. It actually said he turned water into wine coolers, but there wasn't enough parchment, so they had to leave that out.
I see, it could also be that they were thirsty, and once he turned the water, they all started whining.
I get it.
To me, the one on the right is exclusive, self-righteous promotion, but the one on the left really attacks, not only people that might not be Christians, but it just really attacks liberals. And I tend to be under the assumption that liberal and conservative are like the left and the right wing of the bird. And so it's got, remember, true Christians are two right hands or two right wings. And again, it could say the same thing. Remember, true Christians don't vote for women. True Christians don't vote for anybody that's not a Christian. It's just so exclusive, and bringing it into our elections, because that's where it gets extra weird. As long as people are practicing their religions in their churches and they're not hurting anybody else with it, even if they're propaganda going out, hey, we want you to come to our church. This is what we believe in. We don't drink alcohol, blah, blah, blah. The minute it becomes into our elections and voting is involved, to me, it goes to a whole nother level of danger. Danger, Will Robinson. I don't think the one on the right, I really don't think the one on the right is dangerous.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
What's your thought?
Real Christians don't play banjos.
Yeah.
Right. Real Christians don't date drummers. Well, that's actually true. But
right. Real Christians don't smoke pot. They could say that real Christians don't smoke pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so here's my thought.
Okay.
I actually never even thought about the liberal part or the alcohol part. I think that's irrelevant. My part, I think they were identical, the signs, and that's because I thought they were saying, what is a real Christian? What is a true Christian? And we're going to see another one similar to this soon. Neither of them have anything to do with what Christianity is. Now, perhaps what you're saying is on the alcohol one, that Baptist church is saying that it does, that real Christianity is alcohol free. But if that's what they're teaching, then okay, then I'll buy into your your theory. But I don't see how either of them have anything to do with Christianity. And so basically you're just telling anybody that is in your church and they're Christian and they vote liberal that they should get the heck out because, they're not a real Christian and they shouldn't be part of this church.
Well, I'm going to be the centrist for a moment. I'm going to channel centrism. I'm so jealous of centrists. I really am.
I know they have it easy.
They do. It's so much more natural for them to be purple than it is for us.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm going to be the centrist, and I'm going to say, when it comes to vote liberal or vote no on alcohol, one appears to be more dangerous than the other. But when it says self-righteous, exclusive, true Christians, real Christians, they're exactly the same.
Got it. Oh, that's nice. Well done. Well done. Huh. So here's the one I was talking about. This is a sign. It's got a man holding 2 infants. And in a big heart, it says, real men love babies. Heartbeat 18 days from conception. And then it's got some information, phone number, and etc. The first time I saw this on the road, and I've seen it a number of times, the first time I saw it, I got angry, actually. And I know I'm supposed to let you go first, but I'm going to share. I just got angry at it. I thought, okay, so wait a minute. So if I don't love babies, then I don't have a penis? Like seriously, that's what it says. Real men love babies. Okay, if I don't love babies, then obviously I'm not a real man. Well, and I know that they're not being that literal, but and I also know what they're talking about. It has nothing to do with loving babies. It has to do whether you support abortion or not, is what they're actually saying. Say what you mean what you say. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Your turn.
No, and the whole, again, the whole idea of we are the authority. And if you want to be in a members only club, we're the ones, and all the other people are wrong. It is the epitome of eating from the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is the tree of judgment. This, and almost all of them, I think, have that in common. They are all fruit from the tree of judgment.
Wow. Well,
judge well not, lest your billboard be removed.
Okay. This one is a big red sign with white writing that simply says, I'm sorry, I can't say it without laughing. It says, read it, Armand.
Make Christmas great again. And then below in handwritten, it says, skip church. And this is from the Western Colorado Atheist.org.
What does it mean?
Wow. Well, the first thing that comes to me is this is a tit for tat. That's what it feels like. This is a tit for tat. Wow. I mean, wow. Because golly, telling people to skip church when so many Americans love church and love to gather, to get together and worship, or to get together, in love, in a church, one day a week or whatever. And then, the atheists are like, you're going to make Christmas better if you skip church. To me, it's a slap in the face. I don't think it's dangerous. I'm going to keep going back to whether I think something is dangerous or not.
Okay.
I don't think it's purple.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. I gotta say that, okay, make Christmas again, skip church. Well, without church, which from taking the big picture, you're talking about skip the whole idea of religion. Because they're the atheists. So skip the whole idea of religion and skip the idea of Christianity and Jesus Christ, then that would make Christmas great again. Well, no, that would make Christmas non-existent is what it would do. So, okay.
Yeah. You could still go to temple Hanukkah. You could still go to a mosque. Just don't go to church.
I love my shul.
Boy.
Okay.
Okay. Again, not dangerous, except I just came up with a danger.
Okay.
If you are liberal, this is a dangerous billboard because it drives your opponent to the polls to go against anything you stand for if they think this represents you.
Okay.
And maybe
which is funny because it's not a liberal. It blatantly says atheists. It has nothing to do with liberal or conservative, except that it feels like a lot of Christians are conservative, in our society. But that's just me saying that. I'm sure a lot of people disagree with that. But so this has nothing to do with liberal or conservative. It's just atheists.
True. I'm going to have to look that up. I wonder what percentage of atheists, I don't even know how many atheists there are. An atheist once said to me, I said, "Are you an atheist?" And he said, "Yeah, swear to God." I don't know what the atheist is. I just can't imagine. It's hard for me to imagine a conservative atheist. Interesting. I'm going to have to look that up.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so
yeah, it can't. I can't be right. I can't be right.
I'm just going to say I totally disagree. So I just have to say I totally disagree. I love you, and I know that you're a drummer, but I totally disagree. Okay. I think there can be both in everything. So okay, here we go. Moving on. Another one. Very very similar vein. Yes. Big sign with a reverend, I suppose, in front of an American flag. It says, America. Oh, it says special message. America is a Christian nation.
Ouch. And this is one of the ones we put on, I put it on my personal page and we put it on our Facebook group, the Purple Evolution group. And, that is just such an ouch because to me, you could substitute that word for a lot of things. America is a heterosexual nation. America is a male dominated nation. You're really promoting, just one group as America. They represent America. And my understanding is, as much as the dream has not been fulfilled, the soul of the dream was America is a welcoming nation. Even though they didn't live it a lot, in actuality. But yeah, that's just wow. And I do believe that is dangerous. I do believe that is dangerous because it basically says a message. If you're not a Christian, you're not a patriot, and you really don't belong here. And there are crazies out there that are shooting people that they think do not belong here.
Yeah. I have to agree with you. I do believe that we haven't lived it to nearly the extent that the idea was planned. We were killing Indians the moment we got here, for goodness sakes. This, I do believe that the people that would put up a billboard like this also feel like America is a white nation. And they probably feel if you got into the back rooms of the back rooms of the back rooms, you would find out that they believe America is a male nation. I believe that a lot of Christians are probably upset about this because they're feeling like it represents them, and it doesn't. So.
And I will tell you this: I did have a dear friend defend this. Wow. On my page, a dear friend that I absolutely love and respect. And I will tell you her bent was, I haven't seen the message. I don't really know what he means. And I'll give you an example. There's a YouTube, I'm into this new thing called How to ADHD, with Jessica McCabe. not related to Reverend Aaron McCabe. I don't believe.
Which I did by accident the other day.
Oh, by accident. We'll have to tell Aaron that.
Why you forwarded it to her?
I didn't. I'm just saying we'll have to say to her that we were talking about. But anyway, she has a video that says something to the effect of, "To my mother who drugged me." And if you watch the video, you find out how grateful she is that her mom put her on Ritalin or whatever. But the headline, makes you want to go look. So she was giving this guy the benefit of the doubt. But if it said, "Is America a Christian nation?" I would lean that way, that maybe she's right. But I'm glad on the Purple Evolution page, that I don't push back quite like I do on my personal page, because I said, "I can't believe you are defending this." Right. And that's not exactly that purple, to say that to somebody, because you're basically saying anybody that would defend this is, not a Christian.
Well self-diagnosed, my friend.
Yeah. Been doing a lot of that lately.
Diagnosed. Yeah. Well, woo. Okay.
Holy son of a...
Yeah, son of a St. Luke. This is a church sign from St. Luke Christian Church. Lord only knows where it is. Get it? And it says, "Vote or pick cotton."
I don't know what to say. I don't know what that means. Okay. I'll tell you what comes to me when I first look at it. I don't know. I'm gonna.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, because I got to get my jaw off the ground.
I know, and mine is too.
Holy mother of blue jeans!
Right?
Wow.
So the first thing I thought was what you just said, "Holy Mother of Blue Jeans." And I thought, wow, that is one heck of a statement. That is bold, bold, bold. But then I started to think about, well, what does it mean? Well, to me, what it means is if we do not take our responsibility and our right to vote seriously, then we might as well just be slaves. Because obviously slaves are who picked cotton. Now, obviously there are people that pick cotton now that aren't slaves, but I believe it's alluding to slaves that picked cotton. And I believe they're saying if we don't take our right and responsibility to vote seriously, then we might as well be slaves, because we're just letting other people decide what's going on for us and telling us what to do. That's how I interpret it. And in that regard, even though it's incredibly bold, I think it's a pretty dang good sign that says get your butt out there and vote. I find it interesting that it's on a Christian church sign, but I do still think it's a fabulous message.
From that standpoint, I agree. I'm not sure it's sensitive. Oh man. But I took a different possible stance, and I really don't know. And maybe, have you done any research on it about St. Luke and who their people are?
No.
Yeah. And so the other stance that I thought, but now that you've said yours, I'm leaning your direction because you're smarter.
Not true.
I took it a little bit like, what if this is a heavy duty black neighborhood? And they're saying, do you want to keep stuck in racial inequality? Do you want to keep stuck in systemic racism, which all was born of cotton picking kind of thing? Or do you want to vote those white supremacists out? So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
That could be a fabulous thing then. You're right. Look, sometimes people need to be jarred, into action. And in that case, if it was a very heavily black neighborhood, that could be a great message to jar them and say, get your butt to the polling stations and vote and vote these white supremacists out.
I overall, I don't like the messaging.
Okay, I agree with your sensitivity idea. Okay.
Speaking of sensitivity, let me just share this real quickly.
Sure.
One of the things that I used a lot when I was trying to create purple conversations with people, and they were calling Donald Trump and other people on both sides of the field racist. And if somebody asked me, well, why don't you just tell the truth? That person's racist. I said, because I don't want to go there. But what I will say is that comment seemed incredibly racially insensitive. And so I went there a lot. And it was a smoother way of talking about things than to just throw out the R word all the time.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Okay.
Oh, and our producer, kudos to our producer, Jesus, for flipping back and forth for the folks that are watching YouTube.
He's good, man. He's good. All right. This one is a billboard. It's split in half. And on the left, it says, "You cannot serve two masters." And it's in quotes being spoken by Jesus. And on the right, it's a picture of Donald Trump, and in quotes it says, "Support me or you'll be so goddamn poor." And then in the middle, underneath it, it says hiswordsmatter.org.
Wow. I'm so glad I'm seeing so many of these for the first time. Really? If I saw this, it would almost look like something that a liberal non-Christian paid for and put up in order to make Christians look bad. I mean, it's so blatant to me. It's almost like, you may have heard those stories. Many people in the group Q were saying that all the people on the Capitol, were actually Black Lives Matters and Antifa people that went to Walmart and bought clothes and get-ups and American flags to make it look like they were Trump supporters, but they really weren't. And then a fictional group, I like to call LMNOP, they decided to combat it. And LMNOP said that all of the looting that happened in Kenosha were actually done by Trump supporters in blackface.
Wow. Okay. That's I want to say that's funny, but it's not.
It's not.
Yeah. Well, now that's interesting because when I saw this, first of all, again, I can't pretend to be a Donald Trump supporter, so I'm not going to. But I didn't get that at all. What I got was that it was targeting all Christians in a way that said, if you are a Christian, then you can't vote for this guy. You can't support this guy because he himself thinks he's the savior. You know, obviously other people do too. We've already seen evidence of that, but he himself thinks he's the savior. Support me, you know, or you'll be so goddamn poor. I mean, he said other things that are even stronger, but okay. So people are going to argue and say he didn't say he was the savior, but he is saying, you know, if you don't support me, this is going to happen to you. Right. And they're reaching out to Christians saying, look, if you really are a Christian, you got to be careful about people like this. This is a slippery, slippery slope. That's the first thing I got from it.
Wow. Okay. That's a different, because if it had just said you cannot serve two masters without a picture of Donald Trump on it, I would have said, okay, they're quoting a book. They're quoting stuff from their study guide and blah, blah, blah. But then when I see him associated with it and then taking the Lord's name in vain isn't it one of the 10 commandments, thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain?
So let me say this. I've had conversations with Christians and I've asked them these questions directly. I've said, how can you support somebody to lead our country and the leader of the free world that does so many things that are blatantly diametrically opposed to what your religion states? And I've always gotten the same answer. I've always gotten, I want him to be my leader, not my pastor. And I say, okay, but don't you want your leaders to also, have the same values as you? And they said, I want my leader to be able to put our country in the best position possible. And that's economically and safe from the rest of the world. And they just don't, I don't want to say they don't care, but it's very low on their priority list to have their leader be the same faith, and be morally and in similar moral standing as themselves. And they also say, everybody makes mistakes. If I go into your history, am I going to find you a perfect person? Well, okay, fine. I can see that argument, but I would think that there's a pretty brash difference between the things that come out of Donald Trump's mouth and his actions and the things that come out of my mouth and my actions. We both screw up all the time, sure. I think there's some difference in the levels.
Agreed. All of that makes sense. The idea, though, okay, two things come to mind. It seems to me what is important is that his platform is pro-life. That seems to be very, very important to them, from what I've seen, not locker room talk and all that other stuff. If he were pro-choice, that I don't know if they would be supporting him the way they do. But the idea.
Who's them?
Christians.
Okay.
Christians, especially the evangelical Christians that believe that, it's murder and it's not a woman's right, and we're actually killing babies versus fetuses and things. So that's a whole different discussion. But if they were turning a blind eye to some of the stuff, which I have heard the same exact thing, Doug, that you're talking about, and but why would they take a quote from him that takes the Lord's name in vain and use it in that way? That just seems, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm at a loss.
Okay. I think it's just trying to prove that, hey, he's not supporting what you support. He's not in the same moral camp as you are, and how can you support him? I think it's just trying to get Christians.
I totally got. Hiswordsmatter.org. So
now this is a good point. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I didn't take it that way. They're actually saying you can't be a good Christian and support somebody who speaks like this. That's what you're saying? Right. Okay,
absolutely. Isn't
that funny?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes more sense.
This brings us to the point of, the billboards that are put up can have very much different reactions from what they intended. And I know you said Angelina was talking about that as well, about, I wonder what the intention of the person that put it up was. And we're going to get to some of those in a minute. Let's move on.
Real quick though, Doug, do you have some information on this, that what I thought his words matter meant Jesus's words matter?
Oh, I get it. I don't believe so. I think hiswordsmatter.org is about the things that Donald Trump has said, and it's political. But you know what? Jesus, if you could look that up for us and get back to us,
as
that
usual,
would be fantastic.
I think you're right. I just didn't get it that way.
Well, we're going to get Jesus to look it up during the show and get back to us on that.
He's
so let's
unbelievable.
Move on for now. He is unbelievable. Okay, another one from, it says, this is great. It says on the bottom, Happy Holidays from American Atheists, and it's got a picture of the manger scene, and then it says in big letters, just skip church. It's all fake news.
Well, at least it's uniting.
Okay.
I'm kidding. This one goes right to the tit for tat. You put us down, we're putting you down. I don't like it at all.
Okay. Enough about that one. This is a great one. This is a pastor standing next to his. Actually, I don't know that. I'm assuming he's the pastor, but he's standing next to a church sign, and from the Clackamas United Church of Christ, and it says, "Just love people. I will sort it out later. God."
Beautiful, beautiful, and the whole thing that I said that to me this is a beautiful rose growing out of horse shit fertilizer. This is a beautiful rose that has come out as a result of probably a lot of people in this church or this minister or whatever saying, just so tired of all the hatred towards each other in the name of God. My experience with that particular denomination is that they would have a more balanced left and right membership than a lot of different places would.
Isn't that funny you say that? Because just that sign itself is balanced. It's like just can you just take a, what did our friend David say? Just slow down.
Yeah.
Just take a breath and just love people. I'll sort it out later. That itself is a balanced statement.
And it's got the word united in it, which to me, the great teachers all talked about how can we become more united, So that one, thank you, Doug, for that, because I was starting to get sick to my stomach.
I know, right?
Now I feel
had to
like
put
it's
in something like that. By the way, I'm going to go back to the other one, not to make you sick to your stomach, but I did, Jesus chimed in. And if you go to, as actually, two back, it says the hiswordsmatter.org. Jesus, thank you, Jesus, for putting that picture back up. It is a campaign against Donald Trump, and because they have other billboards up there. Another one says, these are all quotes from him. I'd bomb the shit out of them. If they stay poor for generations, they're morons. I'd like to punch him in the face. Okay. People are dying. It is what it is. No one builds better walls. So yeah, it is definitely.
I like it. I like it now better. Not because it puts down Donald Trump. That's not why I like it. I like it because it highlights an actual thing that this candidate said that they believe goes against the Christian philosophy that is so supportive of him. And I don't know. I honestly, now that I look at it, I don't see that as dangerous. What about you?
Okay. I don't see it as dangerous. I don't see it as purple. It's pretty non-purple, but I don't see it as dangerous. It's non-purple because they just took something that was really raw and threw it in someone's face.
Okay.
So
fair enough. Fair enough. Yes. Yeah. Agreed. So, agreed. As usual.
Jesus, if we could go one more. I think he's trying to show us some love again. He just stopped on just love people. I will sort it out later.
It's kind of like when you.
So this is the intermission in the 2-act play, and this is when we can take a breath and go get a Twix bar and a Coke. I'm sorry, I had to put this one in.
Who are these kids? Are those the Goonies? Is that the Goonies?
No, it's not. So this is a sign. It's a big yellow sign with black, huge letters that simply says "Ugly Kids," and then it's got a picture of 3 kids on there. They're just 3 kids, and they're not ugly. They're just 3 kids. And it says ugly kid. They're not ugly, as if I could decide who is and who isn't. They're regular old kids, and just says ugly kids. So do you want to comment on it, or do you want to know what the heck was going on about it?
Well, the first thing I would say is it does nothing to me. It doesn't make me sad or angry or anything. It just makes me like, what is the message? I have no clue. I have no clue what the message is unless these three kids are children of liberals. I don't know. I have no idea what the hell's going on there. That's, it's actually kind of funny because I don't know. It's almost like a satire to me, and I love satire.
Well, okay, so let me share with you what it is. It was a radio campaign, and these are three DJs on the radio, and I know that they were trying to. They're shock jocks, and they're trying to get attention for their radio. And there was a future campaign that was going to come out about it, saying, that these are really our DJs and trying to get more publicity. I don't really know much more about it than that, but it sure was a shocker, and it got a lot of attention.
It's my second favorite billboard we've seen today.
Okay, all right. This one's good too. I like this one a lot too. This next one, it's a big white sign with nothing but one sentence in the middle in black, and it says, Netflix is a joke.
Okay, I actually know what that means.
Okay.
But I didn't when it first came out. And
right.
So I know what it means right now. It reminds me of, there's other billboards that are like that. They'll say something like, Steve is so stupid. Come to steveissostupid.com or whatever.
Right.
So you can go ahead and share with them because you probably know more about it. But
You go ahead.
Well, my understanding is that's actually a comedy section of Netflix, and they highlight comedians and Jerry Seinfeld will be on Netflix as a joke tomorrow night.
That's exactly what it is. Yep. And they did say that they were coming out with other campaign, some more in the same campaign later, saying exactly that. We're going to have Jerry Seinfeld on, so make sure to watch it. So yeah.
That one to me is in the same group as Death to All Fanatics. It's just funny. It's just funny to me.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and so this is good because Netflix is a joke. If it was somebody that doesn't like Netflix and they were, cancel Netflix or,
right.
Take back Netflix. There's, it's very interesting how they say that any publicity is good publicity. And obviously that's a saying because it's been proven that if your name is out there, it's good publicity and it's only going to bring more attention. It's kind of like when, Oprah complains about a book not being a memoir. Well, now all of a sudden millions of people want to read this book that was supposed to be a memoir and they found out wasn't, that it was a lot of made up stuff. So he just got more publicity. And this, if it were by somebody else, would just be bringing more publicity to Netflix, which is good for them.
Brilliant. That reminds me, I started seeing in some of the different QAnon pages where people were freaking out about this Netflix movie called Cuties, Cuties. And it was about a bunch of 11, 12-year-old adolescent girls. And they were saying, cancel Netflix. They're promoting pedophilia and child pornography and all that. And that's the only reason I watched the movie. It wasn't really my kind of movie. And I watched the movie because of that, not because I believed it, but because I wanted to see. Let's just see if there's any truth to this. And the funny thing is, the movie was written by a woman that was wanting to highlight how easy it is for adolescent girls to glamorize overly hypersexuality in the business. Cardi B's and the song WAP, which I won't say what it is right now, but it starts with wet ass. Anyway, they were actually exposing it and showing how dangerous it is. It was actually a positive movie, like watching a documentary on bad stuff that is going on in the world. Although it wasn't a documentary, but it was based on kind of a true thing that is going out there. And it made me dislike cancel culture even more.
Yeah.
And it was said by the group that most often makes fun of political correctness and cancel culture.
Right.
So it's almost like this is wrong unless we do it.
And the funny thing is, I always laugh at them because they're creating the opposite of what they want to create. You wear a T-shirt that says "Stop Abortion." Well, what's that doing? It's promoting abortion. People think, okay, abortion, and people are going to argue with me on this, but there is tons and tons and tons of research. That's why they say any promotion is good promotion. Any publicity is good publicity. It's very interesting, but it's true. So,
yeah.
Okay, nice. Oh, this is another church sign.
My God. Wow.
Another church sign that says, Jesus had 2 dads and turned out fine.
Wow. Now, what kind of church is this? The First Baptist Church in America?
That's what it says.
Okay, so my first instinct when I see that is I love it. And I think what they're saying is, quit judging situations that are different than yours. Wow. I love this. I love this. That's great.
But what I really want to ask you is, do you love this?
I love this. Why don't you marry it? And my thought is, let me tell you what, there's a lot of reasons I love it. It's, exposing, different, so much of religion is, choosing to see things a certain way. And so they're just spinning that. I don't see them putting people down. I don't know. I don't see it as disrespectful. I don't see it as dangerous. I certainly see it as wow and uncommon, especially being that it is the First Baptist Church in America. If this would have been the gay coalition of America that said Jesus had 2 dads and turned out fine, and even that I would be fine with, but it's even more dramatic and powerful to me that it's by this group. Where are you at, bro?
No, I'm right there with you. Right there with you. And I think it's beautiful that somebody like the First Baptist Church in America, that you would think would normally be against having 2 men raising a child. I just think it's beautiful. I really do.
Yeah, and that brings to point the word prejudice. Because I obviously have some prejudice against what I would call self-righteous Christianity. I'm not against Christianity, but self-righteous. And I would say that about liberals or conservatives or Democrats or Republicans.
Sure.
Christians, Muslims. I don't have any issue with any of them. Self-righteous ones I do. I automatically would think this doesn't fit. But it does fit. And the same thing that when I saw Donald Trump on a billboard speaking those words, and you cannot serve 2 masters, my prejudice against Donald Trump and the people that support Donald Trump showed up because I got the wrong idea, because I assumed they were promoting him. Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. By the way, Jesus just told me that he actually had a mom and a dad. So,
well, he actually had a mom and 2 dads.
No. Jesus in our studio just told me that's not true. He actually, okay, he's moving on. Now this one is a vandalized sign. And it was originally a sign for a junk removal company. And that's what it said on the bottom of it, was the name of their junk removal company. And they come to your house and get rid of all your trash, all your junk that's sitting out, that's hoarding. being hoarded by you. Anyway, it's got a picture of a child who's got their face held by their hands in amazement. Their mouth is wide open in amazement. And the sign originally said, "We make junk disappear," in quotes. And in the middle of the night, an organization who took credit for it, let's see if I can remember. Jesus, I'm going to have to ask you to get the name of this organization again. Insightful, I think. Anyway, Jesus will look it up. But they did in the middle of the night, they came and said, instead of "we make junk disappear," they whited out the word junk and replaced it with kids. "We make kids disappear." And then they took out the name of the junk removal company and they put ICE, ICE. "We make kids disappear," ICE.
For our podcast listeners, imagine Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone, but a little bit younger.
Right.
That's sort of what the kid's face looks like to me when he put the aftershave on his skin after shaving his little face.
Right.
I would put this in the same category as vandalizing Confederate statues. We have a right to our difference of opinion. We don't have a right to vandalize somebody else's property. If we want something removed or we want this sign up, then make our own sign, pay for our own billboard and our own sign and put that up. And I don't know enough about ICE and all that, but if they want to expose something that they believe is dangerous, First Amendment, hey, yeah.
Jesus just told us that the name of the group was In Decline, INDECLINE, all one word, In Decline. And apparently it was near San Francisco, and they got a lot of support from the community. They said we don't agree with vandalism, but we love the message, and so we're not going to do too much about it. And apparently In Decline filmed it and showed the film and took credit for it all. I don't know if you could see people's faces or not, but the group definitely was proud to take ownership of it. So,
okay.
All right. This is just for fun. It's a McDonald's commercial, and it's got a burrito on there, and it says, "Usually when you roll something this good, it's illegal."
I love it.
Just a little bit of fun. It actually outraged enough people that McDonald's took it down, believe it or not.
Outraged.
Yeah.
Really?
I know.
What's
people don't get outraged by some of this crazy stuff we've been showing, but they get outraged about this because it is making allusions to a joint being rolled. I mean,
yeah, but
you know,
okay, I'm lost. This is my fourth favorite billboard now.
Okay, all right. This is another funny one.
That's just fabulous.
It's just got huge black letters on a whiteboard that says "Text and Drive."
Yeah.
And then on the bottom, it shows the sponsor is the Wathan Funeral Home.
That is fantastic. You know, that reminds me of the ones that were coming out years ago. Honk if you love Jesus. Text and drive if you want to meet him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Okay, these are a little bit racy, so just be prepared. This isn't. Okay, I don't know. We snuck this one in. This is another church sign. "What is morally wrong should never be made politically right." And I want to start with this one because I want to say that just kind of goes back to what that hisvoicematters.org sign was saying. I think it's kind of in the same vein as that one about what you say and do matters.
I'm not a big fan of the wording, but I am a fan of the message that it makes. They could have said something like that. It basically is pointing out hypocrisy. Don't say that you want something that you wouldn't accept from somebody from the other side of the field. Don't defend something that somebody on your side says that you wouldn't defend from the other side of the field. Don't try to cancel somebody on the other side of the field that you would be okay with if they were your candidate. Is kind of what I'm getting. It's a hypocrisy sign, and I tend to believe that the hypocrisy should be pointed out
Okay. And I appreciate you saying that, because I don't want this to be about what we like and don't like. I want it to be about, whether it's purple or not, or whether it's civil or not, whether it's kind or not. And that's what you're sticking with. And I appreciate that. So, I know we got the racy ones coming up, and here's the first one. I'm sorry, I just had to throw some of these in. Armand, does this look like a deer in the headlights?
This is nothing compared to some of the Hardy's ones I've seen in the past.
Oh,
this
really?
one here,
Okay.
I don't know. I would defend this from this standpoint. This is the
say that it's not racy.
No, I'm not going to say it's not racy.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say it's not blatantly. It's
what?
It's implying something, but I wouldn't kick a child out of school if they were asked to make a food advertisement, and that's
because they wouldn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, even a 17-year-old child, if they said everybody's job in this creative advertisement class is to make a billboard, to me this falls under the category of what a twist. So you probably heard the old saying where they're doing a science math problem, and I guess it's more like science, and they said, you are going to have to figure out the height of the Empire State Building using only a barometer. Have you heard that before? And so the answer they were looking for was, you take the barometric pressure at the bottom, you go to the top, you take the barometric pressure at the top, and you put it in a formula, and you can figure out how high the building is. And so they got an A, anybody that said that. So another guy says, you scale the building, you measure the size of the barometer, and you scale the building, and you just turn the barometer over and over and over all the way to the top and multiply it by how many times you did that. And that's the thing. He says, damn, that's really, that's a correct answer. It's just
the long way around, but
right. And the other guy says, you get on top of the Empire State Building, you drop the barometer, and you see how long it takes to hit. And then there's a formula for that too, which is
gravity.
Anyway, to me, that's what this is. You can't say for sure what it is. It could just be a woman's mouth saying, damn, that looks good. I can't wait to get that in there.
Okay. I'm going to say something very non-purple now. I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy.
And your point is?
Okay. Here's another one. Come on, you cannot tell me that there is any question about this one whatsoever. Oh, and by the way, we're not explaining these things because you just need to look at them.
I'm not even sure what that thing is.
Yes, you do.
I really do not know what that is.
Okay,
it
fine.
Looks like a remote control for a pink TV.
We do need to explain these then, don't we?
I also have our screen on the right, and so I can only see the white part of that utensil, whatever it is.
Well, okay. All right. So we're going to move on.
Please inform me, because I've been married for 20 years. I don't know a lot of shit.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on. I'll explain it to you after the show. Actually, I think maybe I'll just have Angeline explain it to you.
Oh, good.
Okay, in this one, read this one. I can read this one. It says, it's the first church of polydeism, and it says, it's a church sign. It says, if Valentine's Day is for lovers, does that mean Palm Sunday is for single guys?
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I have no issue with it in any way, shape, or form.
It's pretty funny that it's on a church sign, but
well, what is, I guess polydeism is you believe that what's the difference between polydeism and polytheism?
Or polyamory. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, that's
or polyglycote.
I wish this were the most I wish this billboard and the woman opening her mouth for the Burger King sandwich were the most provocative billboards we've seen. I wish they were, but they're not. Those other things were so much more provocative to me.
What have you seen?
The ones that you showed earlier, that we don't like all Democrats, will, those to me, I like I said, I wish this was the worst thing on a billboard.
Got it.
Okay.
By the way, Jesus just got us. Polydeism is a polytheistic form of deism encompassing the belief that the universe was the collective creation of multiple gods, each of whom created a piece of the universe and then ceased to interact with the universe.
Okay. Kind of like have a bunch of kids and then move out. You're on your own, fuckers.
I absolutely love it. Well, those are our signs for the day. Oh, that was so much fun. Thank you, Armand, for humoring me.
Oh my God. It was a blast. I had a ball. Oh, it's so funny. This sign now on the screen share, because of all the stuff you played for me, it looks like it said, end of slideshow, dick to exit. So, you see, you have. Well,
now that's funny you say that, because it says click to exit. And one of the billboards I did not show had that same thing. And nobody knows if they did it purposely or not. But it said something about it's just a click away. And they put the C right up against the L.
Right.
And so it looks like it's just a dick away. And that was one of the billboards. I didn't add it in there, but that's funny you saw that too.
Let me tell you, I don't ever remember having more fun on one of our Purple episodes. This was just fun to me, and almost like a distraction from all the shit that's going on. Oh, thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, let's get to our ending things here. Would you got some mail or?
Okay.
Let's
so
do
Purple
that first.
Mail. This actually is pretty new. This just showed up on March 19th, and it's by somebody that we both know. It's interesting. Her name is Nancy Willingham, and she's the Reverend of a Unity Church here nearby, and she writes. And this was a response to some post I made. Both parties try to distance themselves from their respective lunatic fringes, which is right in alignment with some of the billboards that you showed today. And both parties insist the radicals of the other party are the other party. What we need is purple people power.
Oh my gosh. She said that what we need is purple people power.
Yeah. What an honor. What an honoring thing, Reverend Nancy. We love you.
Amen to that. We do. Thank you. Awesome. You got an award winner for the day.
You won. You did it. You did it. I knew you would. I just knew you would.
Yeah. So, I didn't do this in the most perfect way, but hopefully it's going to show up. This is a billboard that somehow came across my pike, and I want to show it to the group. Tell me when you can see it good, Doug.
Hold it back up closer. You had it good, and then up a little bit. Just up it. There you go. Moving to Canada, we can sell your home. And it's got a picture. It's got a picture of Hillary and Trump. Yeah, so Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, obviously this must have been just before the 2016 election.
Right. I love it. It is so purple. It does not take sides. It knows that there were people from both sides of the field that said they were going to move to Canada if the other person became elected. And they're like, let's take advantage of that. We'll sell your house. That just made me smile. And maybe we'll add something to the definition of purple. And that is anything that makes you laugh that is not exclusive. Anything that makes you laugh that is not exclusive becomes something purple.
or mean-spirited, done at someone else's expense.
Good
Right.
point. Good point.
Although I would say that didn't make me think that if the candidate I wanted didn't win, I'd move to Canada. It made me think there's a lot of Americans who said, these are our two choices? Shit. I'm moving to Canada, period.
Great point. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is. Both are potential. Either way.
I did not vote for Hillary. I voted against Trump. And so I was ready to move to Canada no matter what. And obviously I didn't move to Canada, although there are a lot of people that wish I had. Still, I thought, I'm probably feeling the way a lot of Americans feel right now. These are our two choices. What has gone wrong at this world?
Well, I don't know if we said this anywhere, but my wife and I voted for Gary Johnson. Oh, actually, no. We voted for Gary Johnson in a different election, 2012. Angelina and I voted differently for, I think, the first time since we've been together. But I voted for Gary Johnson, and Angelina, I think, wrote in Bernie. She's a burner. She's a Bernie,
nice.
bro.
Nice.
But one thing that made me feel really good about my vote for Gary is I got criticized by many people on the left. They said, well, that's just a vote for Trump. And then I got criticized by many people on the right. That's just a vote for Hillary. And I thought, okay, I'm happy with my vote.
What is the name of the person that created that?
So jeffcookrealestate.com. Oh, I bet you're going to check into it to see what his point was. And maybe there's probably an article or something on it.
Well, no, I just want to give him credit for the Purple Award. That's all.
Yeah,
I want to give
good point. Jeff Cook, you made me smile.
Nice. Well, we need to get out of here, so let's get Angelina over here for our quote of the day.
Okay.
And
here she comes, miscellaneous.
All right. Hey there, Doug. I have
Hey,
to tell
kiddo.
you, this was a great topic.
yeah,
Because, we're always driving. There's always billboards. And I'm always thinking, okay, what's the intention? What are they really trying to do? And, some of it might just even be shock factor to get you to look at it and then go, what was that or whatever. So, I thought it great topic.
Fun.
They'll so like Chick-fil-A and you go, wow, I'm hungry for waffle fries right now. They do get
Right?
you to.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I will have
And
to say,
your comment about what was the real intention also is powerful, because I was sharing with Armand that sometimes the intention the results they're getting are the opposite from what they intended to get. If they're trying to say something against somebody else, but they're really giving them publicity or whatnot.
right. And I will say two of my favorite were towards the end, that the one that said Jesus has two dads and he did okay. I thought that was pretty funny. And the text and drive from the funeral home. Oh my goodness, that's a shocker. That was funny too.
That's great
a lot
promotion.
of creativity and cleverness.
Right.
I guess.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so here's my quote, and it's has to do with billboards. It's from Max Lucado, which I believe is like a minister. He said, I get 1 hour, really 25 minutes in a sermon on a weekend to combat all the hours of the week that people are told you are what you have through billboards, commercials, and sitcoms, and so forth.
Wow. So appropriate.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I can't disagree. Can you?
No.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you. You and Armand for all the good that you do for everyone. So thank you. All right. Here's Armand.
Well, after Angelina said what great work we do, it just made me want to go. All that.
Look at them guns. Look at them guns.
The other thing that I've said that's in alignment with the Max Lucado thing is the idea that the two newscasters or pundits or whatever you want to call them that I always go to when people say, where can I find something objective, are Michael Smerconish on CNN, 9 a.m. Saturday morning, and Chris Wallace on Fox News. I think it might be noon on Sunday morning. And I'm going, okay, there's 2 hours a week. Yeah. I can't really say anything about the other 23 hours. No, how many hours in a week? A lot. And you can't get it from Rent because those are days, minutes or
Wait, you can't get it from Rent? Oh. 525,600 minutes. Yeah.
That'd be a good parody for Randy Rainbow. Where are objective newscasters today? I don't know. Anyway.
It's 168, by the way.
Okay, good. Thank
That's
you.
What Jesus.
That's
what
Jesus
is.
Rocks, man.
He does, man. He's good. He's quick.
So yeah, we get 2 hours out of 168.
Not bad. Not bad. Yeah. That's 184th. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, take us out, brother. Take us out, please.
All right. So just really grateful that we're just talking about something that everybody can see all the time. Do your part in your conversation because your life is a billboard. Do your part in your billboard to put as good a message out there as possible, include as many people as possible. State your point, make your point, but try not to be an asshole. Remember, there are good people in the world. If you can't find one, be one. Let's make America civil again.
I don't know when they're wrong people. We're all different shades of humanity. I don't know when they're liberal people. I don't know when they're conservative people. We're all different shades of humanity. Let me tell you now, we are all the same. One race.
No politicians were harmed in the making of this podcast.
The Purple Evolution would love to hear from you. Please contact us by visiting thepurpleevolution.org. You can send us an email, post a comment, ask a question, make a recommendation or a critique on our webpage, become a patron, or even shop for Purple Evolution products and gifts from our store. We are just one click away. thepurpleevolution.org. That's thepurpleevolution.org. We look forward to your visit.